The Curse of the Grecian Dolphin. Nestled along the craggy coastline of the Ionian Sea, the picturesque town of Greyston Cove had always seemed like a haven. Its ancient cobblestone streets, weathered buildings, and bustling fish market painted a picture of idyllic charm. The waters surrounding the town shimmered with sapphire hues, drawing tourists from across the globe. But beneath its surface lay a chilling secret, one whispered in the dark corners of taverns and murmured by fishermen under moonlit skies. They called it the Grecian Dolphin, though it was no ordinary creature. Stories told of its sleek, shadowy form slipping through the waves, its haunting whistle echoing through the depths. Fishermen claimed it was cursed, a remnant of a tragedy that had unfolded centuries ago. Others believed it was a harbinger, appearing only before the sea claimed its victims. No one took the tales seriously, at least not until the night young Elena Marin vanished. Elena had been the pride of Greyston Cove. At just 19, she had dreams of becoming a marine biologist, spurred by her fascination with the ocean. She spent her days volunteering at the local aquarium, and her nights sketching the marine life she so adored. But on the evening of the annual Lantern Festival, she had made a terrible mistake. Her friends had dared her to swim out to the lighthouse, a half-mile offshore, and light a candle in its rusted lantern. The challenge was a rite of passage in Greyston Cove, a thrill for the adventurous youth of the town. Ignoring the older generation's warnings about the Grecian dolphin, Elena had laughed off the tales as superstition. Under the glow of paper lanterns drifting into the sky, Elena dove into the sea. Her friends watched her slender form disappear into the water, her laughter mingling with the soft lapping of waves. But as the minutes ticked by, unease settled over the group. The water was unusually still, the silence broken only by the faint rustle of the breeze. Elena's figure had faded into the night, swallowed by the darkness. Then came the sound, a high-pitched warbling whistle. It was unlike any dolphin call they had ever heard, its eerie tone sending chills down their spines. "Elena?" one of them called, his voice trembling. But there was no answer. Hours later, the search parties found no trace of her. The currents had been calm, and Elena was a strong swimmer. It made no sense. Her friends' stories of the whistle were dismissed as hysteria. Yet deep down, the townsfolk knew the truth. The Grecian dolphin had returned. 2 weeks after Elena's disappearance, the once thriving town grew tense. Fishermen reported strange sightings, shadows darting beneath their boats, nets torn as if by unseen claws, and that haunting whistle growing louder with each passing night. Luca Marin, Elena's older brother, was determined to uncover the truth. Unlike the others, he refused to believe his sister had drowned. The Grecian dolphin, he thought, was no more than a myth. Something real had taken Elena, and he was going to find it. Luca began spending his nights by the docks, scanning the horizon for any sign of the creature. He pored over ancient records in the town's archives, searching for clues about the Grecian dolphin. The tales were fragmented, blending folklore with history. One story, however, stood out. In the 1700s, a ship called the Triton had sunk off the coast of Greyston Cove during a violent storm. On board were sailors and a pod of captured dolphins, meant to be sold to a royal court. As the ship went down, the dolphins had screamed, a sound so human-like it haunted the survivors. The townspeople believed one dolphin had survived, but it was no longer the same. Twisted by the tragedy, it had become a vengeful spirit, luring sailors to their deaths. Luca dismissed the supernatural aspects of the story, but couldn't ignore the historical details. The wreckage of the Triton had never been found. If it lay beneath the waves, perhaps it held the answers he sought. One stormy night, Luca gathered his gear, a flashlight, a waterproof camera, and a harpoon gun, and set out in his small fishing boat. The sea was angry, waves crashing against the hull as lightning illuminated the cliffs. But Luca's determination was stronger than his fear. As he approached the suspected site of the wreck, the water grew eerily calm. The wind died, leaving an oppressive silence. Then he heard it, the whistle. It was closer now, resonating through the boat like a physical force. Luca gripped the harpoon gun, his eyes scanning the dark water. A shape moved beneath the surface, circling the boat. "Show yourself," he stuttered, his voice lost to the sound of the waves. The shape broke the surface. It was a dolphin, or at least it resembled one. Its body was sleek, but its skin was unnaturally dark, almost black, and its eyes glowed with an unnatural yellow light. Jagged scars ran along its sides, and its dorsal fin was twisted as if malformed by some terrible injury. The creature let out a piercing whistle, its mouth opening to reveal rows of needle-like teeth. Luca raised the harpoon gun, but the creature was too fast. It slammed into the boat, nearly capsizing it. Luca fell, the gun skidding out of reach. Desperate, he grabbed his flashlight and shone it into the water. For a brief moment, he saw the wreckage of the Triton, its broken hull lying on the seabed. Among the debris, skeletal remains were tangled in rusted chains, both human and dolphin. The Gretian Dolphin lunged again, but this time Luca was ready. He dove into the water, swimming toward the wreckage. The creature followed, its movements swift and deliberate. As Luca reached the wreck, he grabbed a jagged piece of metal and swung it at the dolphin. The sharp edge tore into its side, and it let out a blood-curdling screech. The water around them turned red as the creature thrashed in pain. Luca swam to the surface, gasping for air. The dolphin didn't follow. When he returned to Greyston Cove, Luca was hailed as a hero. He told the townsfolk about the wreckage and the creature he had wounded. The people were relieved, believing the Grecian Dolphin had been defeated. But Luca knew better. Late at night, he could still hear the whistle, faint but unmistakable. And he knew the Grecian Dolphin wasn't just a creature, it was a curse. A curse that would never truly be lifted from the waters of Greyston Cove.